It's Saqib Uddin in London, and with me have IBF Featherweight World Champion Josh Warrington. How you doing, Josh?
Very well. How's yourself?
Really good, thank you. Well, first of all, Josh, it's been quite some journey. As 4 years ago, you was working as a dental technician, and talking to you now, you became world champion in front of 20,000 people in Leeds and defeated the odds. And now you have a film about your remarkable career. How do you put that into words?
World champion, film star, dad as well. You know, I said 2018 would be my year, and it's panning out that way. It's been a hell of a journey, and it's what's happening this year is just a accumulation of a long journey building up to it. Lots of like hardship, training, sacrifice, and downtimes as well. But I felt like all this, the world title and everything else has been a long time coming. I've been, like I say, I was a massive underdog back in May. Nobody was giving me a chance from me, and there were 20,000 there, but there were probably about 2,000 who thought I was genuinely going to do it. And what a journey it's been. But we're not finished there. It's just getting started.
What's the reaction been like since the film got announced?
The film's been fantastic. I mean, in the build up to the Lee Selby fight, it went on for nearly 3 years, and they've more or less captured all of that build up, and to be honest with you, it gives a bit more in depth to what the media normally shows. I mean, the media might, for instance, back in 2016 the fight didn't happen because I was getting married, but there's more to it. Like, there's bits where my dad explains that, and how family sacrifices and what happens when injuries come about, and you change your promoters, and your family's kids come about, and it's an all different outlook on boxing, and a lot of boxers will be able to relate to it, because a lot of boxers are in similar positions to what I am. They're chasing a dream, and a lot of people around them have got to sacrifice that dream. I mean, mine's just a bit unique with the fact I've got a massive fan base, and a lot of friends and family who support me. A lot of my friends and family are part of the team as well. And obviously ours got a fairy tale ending, so it's very good.
Well, through a lot of the film, you showed a lot of sheer determination and self-belief to become a world champion. Yeah. Even when you were written off by the bookies and was the underdog in the fight, but where does that inner self-belief come from?
I don't know. It's something that I've had from a young age. I didn't realise I had it. I just thought everyone's driven, everyone's got hunger, but maybe not. I think as a young lad, I've always been one of them where I wanted to be the best in whatever I did, whether it was a spelling test at school or a race home or whatever. I always wanted to win. I was just obsessed with winning. Not only that, bettering myself as well when I hung about on certain estates in Leeds. One lad might have thought he was better than the rest of them because he had a brand new pair of trainers, because his mum used to buy him, you know what I mean? Or a lad might think he were rock hard because he had an older brother, and I thinking, no, you're not better than nobody just because of that. I always wanted to better myself and be better than what I was being brought up on, and the way that I did that was just finding that hunger. Just whatever I was going to do, whether it's boxing or work, I was going to give it 100% every time and just be honest with myself. And my old fella always used to say to me, whatever you do in life, just give it 100% and you can't go wrong with that. So I stick by them words, and that's what's paid off. Whatever I do, I always try to do it my best.
Well, it's been 7 months now since the Selby fight. How's life treating you as a world champion, and has your life changed at all since that night?
Yeah, now I have a butler at home, so when I want my porridge done in the morning, he goes and makes it. I've got an 84-bed mansion now. I take a limousine to shop when I want some milks. No, it's changed. I'm still the same with me. I've just got world title status, and the thing is, I don't feel like a world champion. And that's a good thing for me. I think the day that you start feeling like you've made it, like you've done it, is the day that the fire dies out, and you need to think about putting the gloves up. For me, I like the fact that the fire's burning bright. I like that people are still writing me off, still calling me an underdog. Like the next fight with Carl Frampton, people are turning around and saying, Carl's a level above, and it's that what makes me get a bit between my teeth and makes me train that bit harder and want to prove people wrong and stick to things up to people who write me off.
Well, 4 weeks now to the biggest fight of your life against Carl Frampton. How's your preparation been so far, and how are you feeling ahead of December 22nd?
I'm excited, very excited. Preparation's been going fantastic. I've been more or less back into gym since July, just working, trying to perfect. Back in after the Selby fight, just I watched that fight back and I thought that things I could have done differently. Obviously fitness is always high because I'm always training. And yeah, I'm just ready to go. I just can't wait to be in there and mixing it with him, you know. And it'll be cherry on top to what's been a fantastic year. And next year, you know, a little past Carl, but in the back of my mind, I want to go on and unify the division, and it starts from here. The journey continues.
Well, you've mentioned in the past that you've been written off throughout your career, winning British title, European title, and of course your world title against Lee Selby. And again, you're the underdog in the bookmakers against Carl Frampton. Does that frustrate you at all? Would you thrive under that status of being the underdog yet again? Like
I just said to you, I think it gives me that bit between my teeth. It makes me push that harder just to prove people wrong. Like I think I mentioned it in the film. When I think there's one scene when I'm in Ghana and I talk about where they keep writing me off, and it was like a year and a half before the Selby fight happened. And you know, once I've got my head on doing something, then I'll do everything I can to achieve that dream and that goal. And yeah, they keep writing me off, but how do they know? You know, these so-called experts have been writing me off since British level, and they said that's it, I'd never go any further than that. I've gone all the way to the top and won a world title, and now, you know, things like unifications are in touching distance, so no one's going to stop me. And yeah, they do write me off, but that's just like I say, it just gives me a bit between my teeth to train harder and prove them all wrong.
What obstacles do you feel Carl Frampton has as opposed to your last fight against Lee Selby?
It's smaller. You know, every fighter has different attributes. You know, prior to my fight with Lee, people said, "Oh, Carl and Lee, 50-50 fight. Don't know, can't split him." Some people thought that Lee were better. Some people thought that Carl were better. I couldn't split them, to be honest with you. But they do different things. They both have their own strengths and their own weaknesses. I would say he's a probably bigger profile than what Lee is, and you know, it might be in some bigger profile fights, but boxing ability, I don't know. Well, you'll have to come back and ask me that after I've boxed him. All I know is I can beat him, yeah. And December 22nd, that belt will come back home with me.
Well, would you say Carl Frampton is a more difficult fight than Lee Selby, or vice versa?
Again, I don't know. Yeah. You know, he's like I say, he's been in with like some high caliber fights, but boxing is about timing. You know, he's had some hard fights as well at the top. Is he still that same Carl Frampton who beat Gillette at Santa Cruz 2 years ago? I don't think so. He might believe so. With all that being said, I ain't training as though he's a Carl Frampton on the slide. I'm training as though he's a Carl Frampton, the big monster, peaking, brimming, the very best. And I'm expecting the very best one. But like I said again, I'm just, you know, I've got what it takes to beat him, and is he better than Lee? I don't know until after the fight. But for me, every fight, don't matter if I'm fighting Donald Duck in my next fight, that's the most important fight, because you know it's not happened and I need to win and I need to keep hold that belt.
Well, in your last fight against Lee Selby, there was a lot of hatred and animosity within the rivalry, but this time around there's a lot of respect with Carl Frampton. Why is that?
Why is that? Because I didn't like Lee Selby, and you know, I don't make no, I don't cover that up whatsoever. I had genuine hatred there. I'm a bit disappointed because we didn't get to speak after, and we've not really shook hands after. We touched gloves at the end of the fight, but that's about it. You know, things had gone on for a long time. I think it had gone beyond the sporting rivalry. It become a bit personal. So I said what I wanted to say. People might have looked at me prior to it and said I acted like a bit out of hand in terms of the build-up. But for me, I was happy that I just said my piece. Different with Carl, the fact is that I respect any fighter who gets in there, because a lot of fighters do put their lives on the line, and some fighters aren't fortunate enough to walk out or come out with life-changing injuries. It's an hard game, and you've got 12 rounds to sort out any differences. That should be enough. And like I say, I respect Carl for his achievements, and it's just one of them things of, you know, still fighters that want us to show the best, but the difference is between the build-up. I didn't like Lee, and that's what it is.
Well, being an observer from Carl from over the years, have you seen any chinks in his armour that you feel you could potentially exploit him on? Yeah,
definitely, and I'm going to tell you these on camera. You know, you'll just have to wait until see December 22nd. But yeah, every fighter has weaknesses. Every fighter has strengths. You know, no matter how good you are, you know, there's some fighters just, you know, have habits as well. And yeah, we've seen enough to come up with enough game plans and look to exploit them weaknesses on the night of the fight.
Well, we last saw Carl Frampton in action in August the 19th at Winter Park after his 9th round stoppage over Luke Jackson. You was ringside. What did you make of Carl's performance?
Hard to say really, because you know, Carl can only fight what was put in front of him, and he did what he had to do. I thought he might have got Luke out a little bit sooner than that. Prior to the fight, I was expecting Luke to give him a good fight, but then when I seen Luke get in the ring and took off his gown, I thought he looked tiny as a featherweight. And then when I seen him after the first rounds, I thought Carl should get him out straight away. The guy, no disrespect to Luke, I think he'd frozen under the occasion. You know, he went to jab Carl's body, and that's all he threw for the first 2 rounds. Jabs to the body. There were no wide shots, and you know, it seemed to like a steady tempo. But I noticed that Carl were breathing heavy in between like 5 and 6. You know, towards the second half of the fight. So you can't take too much away from that. Well, I made a note of a few things, like I say, which I'll keep to myself until after the fight. But there's not massive amounts to take from it, to be honest with you.
Well, Frampton said last week that you deliberately use your head in fight as an advantage. What do you have to say to that, Josh?
Yeah, I'm Leeds. It's what we do. No, it's. I mean, it's. I don't know what to say to that. Deliberate use made. I don't go in there intentionally wanting to stick nuts on him, because if I were there, I'd boot him as well, wouldn't I? I'd name to bollocks. It's a load of horseshit, really. As you know, some fighters clash heads. It happens. You know, a lot of fights in world title fight happens. Cuts happen. It's not a tickling competition. You're in there. There might be an elbow walk goes in. There might be a forearm walk goes in. It just happens. It's happened to me. I've been on receiving end, and I've been obviously the one to do it. But I don't go in there intentionally wanting to stick knot on somebody. You know, if a fighter's like Lee, he's stood tall and he's moving about and he's waving, I come in, I've got my chin down and I've got my hands high and I'm going in, getting in close, and there's a good chance that it might happen. But you know, no point when I'm going in there intentionally is just trying to stick nuts on him, just to gain an advantage.
Well, yourself and Carl Frampton have one of the biggest followings in British boxing, as proven in your last fights, headlining in stadiums in Windsor Park and Ellen Road. So it's going to be quite an atmosphere in Manchester on December the 22nd. Yeah,
it is, and the difference is, you know, sometimes my fans get called casuals, but like it's not like an heavyweight casual, you know, fight where you're just getting all randomers going down there to see a knockout. What you've got is 2 sets of passionate fans who follow their fighter wherever they go. Like Carl's fans are amazing. I've seen them firsthand. I've seen them up close and personal, and so am I. And you've seen like at Ellen Road last time out, 20,000 there. And prior to that, they used to follow me up and down country. So Manchester's in for a real good night. Not only the fight, but the atmosphere as well. It's going to be fantastic, and the fans are in for a real treat.
WBO Featherweight World Champion Oscar Valdez has recently said that he would like to have a unification fight with either yourself or the winner out of yourself and Carl Frampton. I understand you don't want to look past December 22nd, but what's your take on that as a potential fight down the line? I
said early on, didn't I, that you know, that's what I've set in my mind now. Oscar Valdez, you know, the unification fights. Originally, it were the world title fight, Ellen Road, Lee Selby, get that chapter closed. Now it's onto unification fights, and beating a name like Carl propels us onto that world stage. It doesn't just to prove that I'm there. It announces us. People will in the boxing world all will really stand up and take note of what I've achieved. And you know, Oscar Valdez said he'd like that fight. That's a fight that whets my appetite as well. So after beat Carl, let's get it on.
Yeah. Well, the featherweight division really is stacked full of world-class talent, Josh, as you have the likes of yourself, Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell, Oscar Valdez, and of course Carl Frampton. But as a world champion, Josh, what do you feel makes you stand out in the division right now?
I have no idea. I've got Space Raider Red. That's what the haters keep saying, but I don't know, mate. I don't know. I just keep surprising people, I guess. You know, I'll do whatever it takes to win. So yeah.
Well, lastly, Josh, on the same night as your fight is also Derrick Chisora versus Dillan Whyte on Sky Sports. But is that frustrating for you at all, Josh, or are you very much focused on the fight itself?
I'm focused on my fight. It's frustrating for the fans. I feel sorry for the fans because we announced our fight first. You know, the fans are the real losers in this one because some people won't be able to afford to pay for both, and even if they can do, it's not the same watching. You know, we're more likely going to be on it at the same time, and it's not the same like flicking through each channel or watching it back after. You want to watch it live, and the fans are going to miss out really. So I'm a bit disappointed that they've announced their fight, especially when we announced ours first. But is what it is. I've got to concentrate on my own, and those will be watching ours, and those will be attending, know they're in for a good night.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time today, Josh. Josh Warrington, for Fighter TV.
No worries.